Hi, my name's Rachel Andrews. Welcome to Everyday Athlete. On this week's video, I thought we'd take a look at post-swim drink options. So it's really important when we get out of the water that first of all we get ourselves warm and dry, and it's not until you're snug as a bug in a rug that it's time to think about having a drink. But once we're at that stage, I'm nice and warm now, it is about the vessel. So one thing you're bound to have at home, because almost everybody's got one of these nowadays, is one of those reusable coffee cups. This is one made of bamboo with a little plastic lid, silicone lid, and it works well. It keeps my drink nice and warm. It keeps it warmer than it would if it was in a mug sat just out in the open. And this would work well if I was going for a dip and I was going to be able to park close by and leave my drink in the car ready for when I hopped out in maybe 10 or so minutes time. It will keep it warm. Something you might have lying around from picnic days. Most households have got one of these. It's a thermos flask. I would say from the point of view of outdoor swimming, the downside is having to deal with the cup. And although this is one of those clicky type ones, so it pours pretty easily, if I've stayed in a little bit long or I've started to shiver, then there's the risk of burning my hands as I'm tipping from this one. So caution with one of these. If you've got somebody who's come with you to watch you while you're in the water and take photos or something, then perfect, they can pour you a drink. But equally, beware not to fill it too high. You might be wanting lots of hot drink, but just take it in small amounts, because again, you don't need it to shake all over and burn your hands as you're doing it. So a nice thing if you've got somebody hanging around or you've got somewhere safe to leave it on the side. This is the thermal drinks bottle, which has a nice small opening and is quite easy to use. So I find that this can keep my drink hot for a really long time. The thing to be careful about is you don't put something in there that's scalding hot, because it's so efficient, it will still be scalding hot when you go to drink it. So I tend to make my hot chocolate in a jug and just leave it a minute or so out so that it's a nice drinkable temperature before I put it in here, so that I don't burn myself when I'm going for it. I would say less prone to spillage because you can just sip. And so for me that makes it quite a bit safer. The beauty of this is that I can take it with me. So no matter what happens on my swim, if I decide to get out early and end up walking back, I can still get myself dressed and have a drink. And when it's in the tow float, it acts like a keel. So it sits in the bottom of the tow float and it helps that tow float to behave. I've made a video about how to pack a tow float, which I'll link below. My final option is this. It's a little burner, and it's a kind of jet boiler. It will make hot water in less than a minute. So it's a cracking piece of kit. The thing that's not great about it is the amount of fiddling you're going to have to do. So if your hands are cold, this wouldn't be the way to go, because to start it I have to twist this little button here and then click this one. I'm going to have to, once the water has boiled, pour that into my cup and deal with my tea and milk and everything else. So it could be a bit of a fiddle, and if I've been in a long while or even just been in long enough that I'm shaking, then dealing with boiling water like this is not going to be a great idea. But I really love a fresh cup of tea after a swim. So if I've got someone else along with me who's taking photos or just walking the dog or something, then for them to make me a fresh cup of tea is cracking. Of course, you could always go to a cafe afterwards if there's one nearby. But I don't know about you, I really like to have a wild drink after my wild swim and just sit and check out the area I've been. Cheers! I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and that if you have, you'll give it a like and drop me a comment. And also consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on my face and dinging the little bell, and then you'll know when the next one's out. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye!